Hello, YouTube. You're watching Wobble Rocket, and welcome to the first episode of my Enigmatica 2 Expert Modded Minecraft playthrough. We have spawned in a beautiful wetland biome, and our first priority right now is going to be knocking down some of these trees so that we can get a little bit of a basic shelter built. So once it turns dark, there are going to be quite a few monsters spawning. And if we don't have a decent structure built by then, we will probably die a lot. Enigmatica 2 is a somewhat older mod pack. It came out about 5 years ago for Minecraft version 1.12.2, although it is still receiving current updates. In fact, the version that I'm playing just came out about a week or two ago. This version of Minecraft does not have some of the new world generation that some of the more modern versions of Minecraft have. So it doesn't have the lush caves or the sprawling mountains, but it's still one of my favorite versions of Minecraft simply because of the mods that are available on this version. Once we get our shelter built, I'll pull up the quest log and we'll go through a little bit of the basics of this pack and what to expect from this Let's Play. Okay, I think we've got a decent amount of wood to get started with, so let's just go ahead and turn a whole bunch of this spruce into planks. We're just going to build a very basic little cabin to start with. This will just be a temporary shelter until we find a spot where we want to build a permanent base. We'll get a crafting table built so that we can get a door. And we're also going to make some trapdoors. And it's been so long since I played Minecraft, I actually don't remember how they're made. There we go, 6 planks. Okay, so this is going to be just a window that we're going to make using our trapdoors. And then let's continue this out just one more block. It is already starting to get dark on us, and we do not really have a solid shelter built just yet, so that's going to get a little bit hairy. Let's see if we can grab some more of these spruce logs real quick before monsters start spawning around us. Clearing out some of these trees will also help take out some of the shadows around us as well, so maybe the monsters will be a little bit less likely to spawn in those areas. Although once it turns dark, I don't think it's really going to matter that much. Okay. This is not exactly going to be a very nice house, but it'll work for the moment. I apologize that it's going to be very dark on this video for a few minutes until we get some lighting, but in the meantime, let's close things up and we will go ahead and check on our quest book. You start off with this getting started page, and in fact we can go ahead and claim our first quest, which will give us all of these rewards. So we start off with a full set of leather armor, which is a nice little boost to our survivability. We also have some tanned leather and a wooden frame that we can use to build a backpack. If we wanted to, we could place this in our crafting table, make a small backpack that has 2 inventory rows. But if we hold on to this tanned leather until we can get some more leather, we can actually make a much larger backpack instead. So we're going to hold on to what we've got and just wait on that for the moment. We've also completed this quest because we've mined so much wood, so we're going to get a couple of oak chests. And our next step is going to be building a set of stations to be able to build our first tools, because vanilla tools do not work in this mod pack, which is technically not true. They do work, but they have a durability of 1. So what happens is after you've used them once or twice, they break and then they're completely useless. So by building the stencil table, part builder, and tool station from Tinker's Construct, we'll be able to make repairable tools that also have a lot more abilities. We can change out parts on those tools regularly, which will allow us to mine more difficult blocks. It'll also allow us to get some really interesting abilities on our tools. So that is our next goal. And to do that, we basically just need a whole bunch of wood. And I don't know if we have enough right now to be able to pull it off. To build the patterns that you need for this, it's just simply 2 wooden planks and 2 sticks. That gets you 4 blank patterns. A blank pattern over a set of wood planks gives you a stencil table. A blank pattern over a log gets you a part builder. And if you make another crafting table, a blank pattern over a crafting table gives you the tool station. There is one more block that kind of goes in this set that we haven't actually made, and we don't need to make it for the quest, but I think we're going to do it anyway. It is the pattern chest, which is just a blank pattern surrounded by spruce or by wood planks. I don't know how well you can see this since it is in the dark, but let's see if we can get just a little bit of extra light in here. In fact, I'm going to increase the brightness a bit, and hopefully that will help. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit better. We're going to start off by building another crafting table, turning it into a crafting station. We're going to place down our crafting station, and then we're going to place down our stencil table, pattern chest, part builder, and tool station in that order. Now, whenever we access any of these stations, we can actually tab through to each one, and that's going to come in really handy. It does kind of screw up the order of them a little bit. I'm not sure why it does that, but it's just something that happens with this mod pack. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw some blank patterns in there, and we are going to start building the stencils that we need for all of the various tools that we're going to make. And it has started raining, so let's go back to our stencil table, and we're going to make a axe head pattern. I want to get a sword so that we can deal with any monsters that we come across. For that, we'll need a sword blade and we'll need a wide guard. And then we have 1 piece left, so I think what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and make a comma so that hopefully if we run into any sheep, we'll be able to shear them and get the wool that we'll need to make a bed. It is starting to get, well, not quite light, but that brightness hack did help a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make what we can. We don't have nearly as much wood as we need at this time, but we'll see if there's anything that we can build. Go ahead and get our wooden pickaxe. We'll go ahead and get a tool rod, which we can actually make with sticks, and then we'll get a wooden binding. That should give us everything that we need to be able to build our first pickaxe. So it's just going to be a wooden pickaxe. It's not going to be super great, but the great thing here is the reward for this quest is a loot chest. And these are one of the coolest things about the Enigmatica 2 Expert mod pack. Every time that you complete a quest, usually you get some sort of item, either a loot chest or they are pertinent to the mod pack that you're working with. In this case, we got a loot chest, and let's see what we got. We got a growth accelerator, which grows plants above it faster. So that is going to come in really handy. We actually got 2 of them. Later on, we'll get some farms built. So we'll be able to place down these growth accelerators, and that's going to really speed up the rate at which our farms function. We got a couple of extra blank patterns from that quest reward. So we're going to go ahead and start building the pieces that we'll need for a bow and arrow as well. We won't have quite enough for it, but it'll be a good start to what we need. We're going to hop onto our tool station and go ahead and make our wooden pickaxe. I'm also going to throw down this chest right here just to drop off some of the stuff that we don't want or don't need right now, so that should we die, we don't lose everything that's important to us. We don't actually have to have the quest book in our inventory. It does function without being in the inventory, just with a hotkey. So that is definitely a good thing for us. Let's see if we can get some more wood so that we can make a couple more of these tools. Hopefully nothing will try to kill us while we're out here. Looks like there is a witch over there, and if we get too close, she's likely to start throwing potions at us, which would not be nice. In fact, that's exactly what just happened. So we're going to run back into our house real quick. The sun is coming up though, so hopefully we'll be able to start doing some things pretty soon. Okay, I'm going to turn a whole bunch of this wood into more planks so that we can get some more parts built. I'm going to go ahead and make a wooden shovel, an axe, and a wooden sword. For that, we'll need 3 tool rods. We will need a wide guard, and we'll need 2 wooden bindings. So we can hop over to our tool station, make our wooden shovel, make our hatchet, and make our sword. These wooden tools are not going to be very effective to start off with, but hopefully we will be able to get some upgrades for them very soon. Now that we've got some sort of weapon, we can try to take out some of these enemies that are spawning nearby. Ding dong, the witch is dead. And she actually drops some glowstone dust, which is really nice for us. We also got some Infernium essence off of that zombie. Infernium essence is going to be useful later on whenever we start trying to build some of the seeds that we'll need for magical agriculture, or mystical agriculture. But for now, we're just going to throw it in our chest. Since we got some rotten flesh, I'm going to make a couple of drying racks. Drying racks can be made with a set of 3 slabs in a row. And these are added by the Tinker's Construct mod as well. The benefit of these drying racks is we can take this rotten flesh and we can actually turn it into food that won't poison us. This mod pack has the nutrition mod in it, which means that we have to keep up our various major food groups. So we got to keep up with our dairy, our fruit, grain, protein, and vegetable. If these percentages get too low, and they will diminish over time, then we'll start to take debuffs and they can be pretty bad. On the other hand, if we can ever max them out and get them to about 100, we'll actually get some persistent beneficial effects. I want to go ahead and collect a couple of mushrooms because we can also turn those into some food that we can eat right now. There's also a cherry tree over here, so that's nice. If we can get our comma built, we'll actually be able to harvest these cherries and then place them on any leaves that we place anywhere we want, which is a nice little trick that you can do with the Pam's Harvest Craft mod that is in this game. That was a rubber tree. I'm hoping we'll get... Let's see if we can get any saplings off of this, because we will need rubber trees later on, especially once we start getting into some of the technology mods. And we did. We managed to get 2 rubber tree saplings, so that's really good. That's going to come in handy later on. We'll take them with us even if we decide not to stay in this area. There goes my wooden axe. Okay. First things first, since we are starting to lose a little bit of hunger, I want to get a few things made. Can make some bowls, and then we can take these bowls and combine them with mushrooms, I think. Maybe not. Probably because that's a toadstool and not a mushroom. And toadstools are not edible, so that's not going to help us out. But we do have our cherries, so we'll go ahead and eat a couple of them. In a little while, our rotten meat will start turning into monster jerky, so we'll be all right then. My next goal is going to be getting just a little bit of stone so we can get, actually, if we come down here, we've got river cane, which is a good source of sticks, and we have a lot of clay. There's a lot of clay in this little lake bed right here, so we're going to definitely gather that up. Clay will be something that we need quite a lot when we start building the Tinker's Smeltery, which is sort of the next step in our tool progression. If we really want to upgrade beyond wood and stone tools, we're going to have the Tinker's Smeltery so that we can start working with metals. Okay, I'm going to save that other clay that's down there. We don't quite need it just yet, but... Let's go ahead and repair our, actually what we're going to do, we're going to make a couple more stencils. Because we need a sharpening kit pattern, which will allow us to repair our tools on the fly. We're also going to finish out the last piece that we need to be able to start working on a bow. We'll go ahead and grab the large plate pattern. That'll be useful later on once we get into some of the early machines. And then a chisel head is largely for decoration, but it is one of my favorite inclusions in this mod pack, so we are going to be using it quite a bit. The others I really don't need at this point, but we're going to go ahead and make a couple of them just to be able to fill out our pattern chest a bit more. Okay. And it looks like our monster jerky is done. You know, I apologize for itching my nose so much in this video. Something has got my allergies all stirred up today. We've had a lot of rainy weather, and I think everything is just blooming like crazy because all of a sudden it turned hot, and it is just wreaking havoc on my allergies right now. Okay, so now we can repair our tools. You do have to have the same type of material for the sharpening kit as the tool is made out of. So in this case, since our tools have a wooden head, we have to have a wooden sharpening kit. Don't ask me how you sharpen wood with a wooden sharpening kit. This is Minecraft logic. We are not playing with real world physics. Okay, let's see if we can get... That's a flat mushroom. That's not what we need either. Okay, there's a mushroom. We need to start working our way down so that we can find some stone. Okay, let's check our quest book real quick and see what our next step is. The next thing that we need to do is we need to collect some flint, so we need to find some gravel. We'll probably find that somewhere in this riverbed down here. There's a little zombie spawning, so let's take him out real quick. Looks like maybe a pear tree up here. So we'll collect a couple of those. One of the advantages of the nutrition mod that is included in this game, the more foods you try, the more foods you eat, the more hearts you'll gain. So our maximum health will actually increase over time as we progress through the game. I really need to find some coal or enough cobblestone to be able to make a furnace so that we can get some lighting going. It is very dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of park it here and wait until morning. I will catch you in just a few minutes after it turns morning time. All right, we are back. You might have noticed that I have taken some damage. I did get a little bit overzealous and decide to fight some zombies while I was waiting on daylight. But I did manage to pick up a fiery helm, so that was nice. I also took a little bit of time and upgraded all of our tools to stone and also built a wooden short bow. We don't have any arrows for it just yet. You cannot use the vanilla arrows for the short bow. But we'll make one very shortly as soon as we can get some feathers, which if we get lucky and find a chicken somewhere, we'll be able to make. All right, so let's go ahead and drop off a couple of these things in our chest. Grab our wood back out. Not the zombie brain, we don't need that. And we need to find some gravel. Gravel is going to be our next major find. But before that, I want to make a comma. I did find some sheep in the nearby woods, and getting the wool that we need to be able to make a bed is our next priority. Come on. There it goes. The comma is the Tinker's Construct version of the shears. And it works exactly the same way. It's just that they are reusable and can be repaired. There we go. We got the 3 wool that we need to be able to make a bed, so that is perfect. There is some iron ore here, but we're not going to grab it just yet. We'll need it later once we get some better tools to be able to mine the iron. I'd love it if we could find a village nearby. I'm not sure if we'll be able to do that. It doesn't look like there's any obvious structures anywhere nearby. I am going to go ahead and clear this off by minimap real quick. There we go. Okay. Let's get our bed built so that when it does turn nighttime again, we can just quickly skip ahead and not have to deal with zombies quite so much. Oh, no, not dirt. There we go. Much better. Okay. All right, let's go find some gravel. Grab a couple more of these hairs so that we can restore some of our hunger. Let's see. There's some gravel right there. I am using a slightly different texture pack than normal. This is the DokuCraft texture pack with some of the John Smith texture pack added in just to kind of fill in the gaps. I'll put the links to download these texture packs in the description. I really like the sort of fantasy look that these texture packs give. I think it's a nice addition to the game, but it does change the way certain materials look, and so it can be a little bit tricky to remember what is what. All right, we need to restore a little bit of hunger and health, so thankfully we have a couple of monster jerkies already ready. Let's see if we have any more. Yeah, we've got some more rotten flesh, so. Okay, we can go ahead and collect this, which will let us get either a netherrack pan, a cactus sword blade, or a steel knife blade. I'm going to grab the steel knife blade, not so much because I want to make a knife, but because once we get the smeltery, we'll be able to melt that down and get a steel ingot. And it's one of the fastest ways to get any steel at all without having to develop some of the more elaborate machines. In fact, let's go ahead and make a bowl of mushroom stew. Perfect. To make the grout that we need to build our smeltery out of, we'll need a stack of clay, a stack of sand, and a stack of gravel. That gets us 2 stacks of grout, but the next thing that we need is a furnace to be able to smelt those. Let's go see if we can get enough stone. If there were a village nearby, we could just grab these furnaces from there. There's almost always furnaces in the villages. I'm just not seeing anything close by, and I don't feel comfortable enough at this point running out and trying to hunt down a village. We'll kind of explore just a little bit just to see if anything catches our eye, but I'm not seeing any nearby structures at all. So we are truly out in the wilderness out here. Let's grab a couple more of these ripe cherries. Yeah, even with a tree's eye view, I'm not seeing any structures anywhere nearby. So we're just going to have to build a smeltery the hard way. There is a wildberry bush right here, so that gets us one more food item that we haven't tried before. All right, we did find some coal, but unfortunately my pickaxe broke and I forgot to grab a stone sharpening kit, so we need to go make one of those real quick. fact, we're just going to go ahead and make a whole bunch of them because we will probably go through quite a few before we start getting some upgrades to our tools. To make the furnace, we're going to need a bunch of compressed cobblestone. We're also going to need to grab some wood because we're going to need to make a couple of gears. We'll start off by making a pair of wooden gears and then using them as a framework to turn them into stone gears. This is the layout for our furnace, and the only thing that we need is we need to go grab one of those pieces of coal real quick, and hopefully we can do that before it gets dark. Perfect. And our furnace is complete. So that wasn't too terrible. I'm gonna put our furnace right here. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and start smelting some of this willow wood into charcoal. That way we can make sure that our coal lasts a little bit longer. And that brightens things up in here considerably. We're also going to make a couple of torches just so that we can guarantee we have some good lighting in here. Got a couple more pieces of monster jerky ready to go. All right, so now that we have a furnace, our next priority is going to be getting enough of this charcoal so that we can smelt up all of our grout into seared stone. And then we can start building our smeltery. There's a skeleton down there. All right, took him out. Took a little bit of damage there, but not as much as I expected to. And we got another Inferium essence. It's kind of hard to say. Okay. Let's check our quest book. We can also make a clay bucket. So let's go ahead and do that. We can take our charcoal and turn it into tiny charcoal. It still smelts the exact same amount, but normally coal and charcoal smelt 8 items at a time. But if you only have 7, then you're wasting the other fuel that is in your furnace. So in this case, by turning them into the tiny form, it's lossless. You don't waste any of the materials. We're going to smelt this unfired clay bucket, and that'll get us a normal clay bucket. This works exactly like the vanilla Minecraft bucket. The only exception is that if you collect lava with it, the lava will destroy the bucket whenever you place it. Since we have a furnace, we're going to go ahead and see if we can get some of these sheep to give us some meat. Sorry, little sheepy. I gotta eat you. And a pig. Okay, that's probably enough to start off with. Let's get back to our house before we lose it. I probably need to set a waypoint so that we don't end up losing our house, but there's a creeper there. If you're wondering, I do have mob griefing turned off, particularly in this mod pack with so many intricate pieces of automation that you have to set up, some of which can involve some difficult to acquire materials. Just having mob griefing turned off is a little bit safer in my opinion. And honestly, I'm just not a big fan of having creepers who destroy things out from under me. So let's go ahead and smelt some of this raw mutton. And then we're also going to throw some on our drying rack because I believe it turns into a different type of jerky than the rotten meat does. Turns into mutton jerky. And we can also turn our raw pork chops into bacon jerky. So just by doing that, we are able to get two different types of food out of the same material. We've also picked up some seeds and some chili pepper seeds, so we could get started on a wheat and chili pepper farming. We'll probably hold off on that for right now. I'm not wild about this area. Once we get a little bit more established, I'd like to branch out and see if we can find a better location for a more established base. I feel like that's just going to serve us better in the long run. We've made pretty good progress this episode. We've got a bed, we've got a furnace, we've built some basic tools, we've got some basic food production going. Our next step is going to be getting the Tinker Smeltery built, and that's going to require a lot of blocks. It's going to require the smeltery controller, the seared tank, the several seared bricks, a seared drain, seared faucet, a casting table, and some clay. That's going to be our next step before we can really start getting into some of the better tools that we can make with Tinker's Construct. So we are going to put that off until next episode. For now, we're going to close this off by opening up the loot chest that we just got and see what we got. I don't actually know what that does. We got an item placeholder. What does an item placeholder do? I'm going to have to look that up in a minute because I actually don't know. If you know what an item placeholder does, because it does not respond to anything in JEI. If you know what an item placeholder does, leave me a comment and tell me what it does. I'll probably be Googling everything just as soon as I get off of this video. In the meantime, thank you for watching. My name is Wobble Rocket. Check in with the next episode of Enigmatica 2 Expert Mode, where we'll be building our Tinker Smeltery and then hopefully trying to explore a little bit and find a permanent spot for a good base. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you around.